Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Scheinert. Thank you so much for coming to this screening of truly the most original movie of the year. At this point, please join me in welcoming the visionary directors of the film. They are known for such revolutionary music videos as Turn Down for What and, of course, Rise of the Phoenix. Believe it or not, this marks their feature film debut as directors. Please welcome the Daniels, Kwan, and Daniel Scheinert. Also, we have one of the stars of the film. I mean, he's so young, and you talk about range. This guy has done everything from Little Miss Sunshine to 12 Years a Slave to Love and Mercy, and yet, having said all that, he might have delivered the best performance of a very clean career with Swiss Army Man. Please welcome Paul Dano.
I love you, Paul.
We have an extra chair here, and I'm not sure why. Yeah. I wasn't sure Manny was coming or not, but
Join us later.
yeah, okay.
I think you might have gone home. You drank too much.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here, and congratulations. You know, they say there are no original ideas anymore, and this film is aside from just the starting premise, it's full of them, really. Where did you even begin with this idea?
I think everybody has crazy ideas, you know, like
ideas like this one.
like everybody thinks about with their friends and like comes up with something crazy. And I think the only weird thing we did was we made it. You know? And in some ways that's kind of why we made it. These ideas it was like they felt like they'd be interesting to pursue. Like what will it feel like to like spend a few years on that? And they were rewarding because of that. You know, like we didn't get bored because we were like, I don't know how to make a movie with this inside it. You know.
In some ways, it's like we come up with these ideas, laugh for a moment, and then instantly say, "Oh, we should never make that movie. That would be a terrible idea. It would waste time." And I think because of that knee-jerk reaction, we kind of like have to re-examine that thought process. But wait, why? Why can't we make this? And why can't we make it something that is beautiful and heartfelt? And fill ourselves in it and just see what happens. We like to think of our ideas as like orphan ideas, you know, ideas no one else would ever want to, no one else would ever want to make. And we kind of dress them up and we teach them, we adopt them, we teach them everything we know, and push them out in the world, hoping that the world will accept them for what they are. And I think it's a pretty rewarding kind of process when it comes to writing and filming, because it breeds a really strange kind of empathy. Like it forces you to look at something that is so undesirable and say, I'm gonna love you, and you're gonna love me back. It's gonna be great. And so that's what this movie is. This movie is a character looking at the most unlovable thing, and a really kind of existentially terrifying image of a farting corpse. Because we're all gonna become farting corpses one day. You know, when you die, you decompose, and it's embarrassing and sad, and that's life.
They know, they watched the movie.
I know, exactly. Yeah. And so yeah, and that, to us, that's kind of like, it's cosmically funny and really depressing, but it's a really intellectually stimulating way to work for us, I guess.
But there's my theory, which is that you made this movie on a bed. Or a dare of some sort. How long were you working on it before you were able to actually, you know, I mean, even from that first germ of kind of a joke of an idea?
Yeah, we spent a while trying to figure it out. I think the joke was fall of 2011, and then the first draft, like entire draft of the screenplay was like fall of 2013, and then it took from then until now.
And Paul, I don't know if you knew the Daniels or this was just a script that arrived, but I mean, what was your reaction?
I was a fan of the Daniels, and I think the first time I saw their work, I literally thought to myself, whatever juice they're drinking, I want some. You know, because like they were making something only they could make. And it's like truly spirited work. And then coincidentally, after my first time seeing their work, like a week later, I got sent their script. And I was like super excited. I was like, well shit, I was wondering when these guys would make a film. And then page like 2 or 3 of the script, when the farting human jet ski happened, you know, I was laughing, but it was so absurd. I also thought it was kind of beautiful and glorious, you know. And I was like, well, why didn't I think of that? Like I was really jealous of these guys, you know. And then like I kept reading, and you know, it's a singular piece of work, and you know, totally bananas and funny and beautiful. And so I think we started hanging out, and you know, and made the movie.
You drink our juice, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe a silly question, but I just always have to ask because when a piece is basically a 2-hander, or maybe a 1.5-hander in this case, I'm not even sure. Was it always the role of Hank, or did you ever think about playing Andy?
Would you have wanted to play him?
Did you go? What was? I can't remember what the situation was. I think I read it. You know, I think when we talked.
Yeah, we set the script specifically for Hank for Paul, just because we felt he would give that insane character so much, just ground him in the real world in a really beautiful way. But I mean, you probably would you have wanted to do Hank? Would it have been interesting to you?
When we remake it,
You know, I have to say, no, it's a real testament to Daniel Radcliffe's work. You know, like it's a really hard part, the main part, and he really, you know, not just physically transformed, but sort of the emotional, spiritual, intellectual arc of that character. He really surprised me a lot every day. So I don't know, you know, just from reading it, you know what I would have done with it, but I remember being happily surprised every day by what Daniel was doing, because it's a really, really challenging part.
Would he have to stay in character between takes? Because, you know, he has his face frozen and safe, but just for consistency, I would feel like he would have to be kind of method, or was he, you know, up and cracking jokes?
Yeah, he got up. He was very happy to break character.
He's sort of like a machine when it comes to his body. It's really impressive. That island that he does is real. Like he just like one day during rehearsal, like, oh, I can do this thing with my eye. And we're like, what the fuck? You look like you're dead. It was like really wonderful. And whenever he wanted to, he kind of turn it on and off. Like his whole like body was suddenly go limp, and his eye would go limp, and he would just become Manny. And then when we said cut, you're like, okay, yeah, this British accent again.
He did rarely use the British accent, though. I think that was one thing he did, like try to just live in an American accent. And like a few weeks later, when I saw him on a weekend, I was like, oh yeah.
What did you think of him for this role, and were you surprised he said yes?
I mean, we were just huge fans of Paul and Daniels, and
We knew we wanted the actors to sing. The whole thing was going to be sort of a weird version of a musical. And
so we knew we knew that they both sang, which was like a big perk. And then we had like a list of actors we were in love with, but we talked to Paul first, and it was actually Paul who was like, I'd love to work with Daniel Radcliffe. And we're like, really? Because our investors would love that. we're also huge fans, and let's see what he says. You know, like we you know definitely took it with a grain of salt when we sent the script over, and it really sparked with him. Apparently, he was super gung ho. The first chat we had with him, he was just like, "Please, I want to play this."
Yeah,
It wasn't like a lot of distance, you know.
fun fact, his parents read every script that he reads before he decides whether or not to do a role. And so one of the first things we heard back from the Radcliffe camp was, Daniel hasn't read yet, but his dad loves the script.
I met his dad like earlier this week, and he's just like a gray-haired Daniel Radcliffe. The sweetest man. I'm so excited.
I know it sounds strange. Well, I guess it doesn't because you guys have all seen the movie, but you and Daniel have really remarkable chemistry. Had you met before, or did that just develop naturally over time?
Yeah, we had met before, and that's one of the reasons I think he came up. I sort of knew he would be half mad enough to sort of do this film and sort of commit to the character, because it definitely required someone who was willing to just sort of go for it and not like be a pain in the ass in the middle of the woods, you know, and like just you know. And I remember getting in touch with him and saying, oh, like, yeah, maybe we should like hang out sometime before we go to this thing that's in a few months or whatever, just to get to know each other, you know, a little better. And I went to his apartment and we were chatting, and he was like, so like, do you want to put your hands in my mouth? Like, should we just start getting used to this now? And I'm like usually pretty thorough in my preparation, but I was like, you know, I think we can wait. I was like, we don't, and we like all these ways I could carry him, and I was like, yeah, we'll figure it out.
And this movie looks, and I should say sounds beautiful, but it is an independent film. And I'm curious, how much of the time is that Daniel? Did you, because you might not have been able to afford to have body doubles.
Yeah, well, thank you about the look and the sound. Our sound designer and DP are watching it next door right now. They're great. And then it was Daniel like 99% of the time. He was like, as we kind of hinted, like really gung-ho and like, if anything, he was really adamant that he play the part as much as possible. Because, you know, he wanted to own it even when Manny had to lay there. He was like, I want to, you know, choose how he lays, and I want to be there for Paul to react off of. So a lot of people, you guys saw the dummy before we shot, but we used the dummy for stunts that like you just can't let Daniel or any human do. And then sometimes to ease Paul's back in a wide shot, we'd be like, you can carry the dummy for this one.
When the dummy was out here before?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the dummy.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. Next time. Yeah, it's around. We'll talk after. We'll find it.
So for each of you, what ended up being the most difficult part of making the shoot, either from a logistical standpoint or point? Or Paul, you're doing some really effective emotional work here. Like, I don't know if, like, at the end of the day, you're able to shake that off, or if you take it home with you.
Definitely the most challenging part was the like carrying Daniel around. It all I guess works for the character, which is what you tell yourself every day. Like there's like I don't know if this is where this comes from, some acting book or whatever, but like everything conspires towards the work. Is like the thing you tell yourself when things suck. You're like, okay, everything conspires towards the work. This is somehow helping Hank, by the fact that my body feels like shit right now.
So we almost made you throw your back out like on day one, on the first day of shooting. We're like, oh my god.
That's because we did this thing where I climb up like a ravine with a rope, and we rehearsed it, and we're like, okay, let's film it. And we're like, oh, let's put the dummy on Paul, which weighs like a whole bunch. And we didn't rehearse it that way, and it was really hard.
We have to answer how hard the hardest part.
Honestly,
I want to go last.
I hate to go last. All of it was hard. If you talk to any of our crew members, they're like, this is like the most like difficult thing to pull off, just because we're in the woods and there's, we have a child actor, we have live animals, there's fire, we're on the water, we're underwater. It's just like all the things you're not supposed to do.
You're referring to me as a child.
All of you, our wonderful baby children. It was so that was really cool. But I think the hardest thing for us was just the fact that every day the tonal thing that we were trying to pull off was just something like we didn't have any references for, so we were like it really was just like chemistry for us, just like throwing a couple chemicals together and seeing what would happen, and like we have to adjust every day, just trying to figure out what was the balance we were trying to find. And that was like a really stressful, strange thing, because like even out the day when we got something great, you can never really tell what was going to feel like in the edit. So that was you're setting yourself up for like so much failure already, and if it doesn't work out, it's just like, you know, it's like Icarus flying too close to the sun. Every day I felt like what are we doing? You know? So that was the most difficult part, and once we got through it, it was like pretty exciting. It was a pretty thrilling thing to be at Sundance and premiering it in front of an audience that was like even bigger than this theater, and just like hear.
No, you guys are great.
You guys are amazing. So yeah, that was probably my hardest thing about it.
My answer is similar. I think the screenwriting specifically was like, you know, it was different for us. I get a real kick out of like bringing people in and collaborating with them. And like once we had like the composers writing music, it was like, oh, this is coming to life. And then once we rehearsed with Paul and Daniel, like that was exciting. But like the couple years where it was just, you know, 100% our fault, you know, whether it's good or not, was you know, new for us. And we wrote draft upon draft and went through the Sundance Labs like workshop process with this, and they encouraged those drafts. They were like, you know, just keep working on it in a good way. But that was, you know, rewarding but hard.
When people ask what you were working on during this time, and what their reaction when you said you were making a Barbie Course movie?
I mean, that's our favorite part, I think. I think we love, like, answering that question with something crazy. So, it's, you know, it's fun to pitch this movie out of context, and usually people will laugh or...
Yeah, I mean, the reason why we came up with this idea was because we were going to so many, you know, Hollywood meetings with like producers and
So many.
So many. No, not many. But enough that we would like sit down and go, like, so what kind of movie you want to do? We have this property, or this rom-com, or this family drama. What do you think? And then we like, you know, just none of that felt like authentic to something we would actually do. So we just started pitching these ideas that were half jokes, but then also deep down we would love to see exist. So we started pitching Swiss Army Man as a joke to people, and just to see what kind of reaction we get, you know. And eventually, one producer actually said, "Why haven't you written that yet? That sounds amazing." And so now we're here.
Yes, we almost made a post-apocalyptic movie in which everybody is dead because cell phones give you brain cancer after all, except for our grandparents who never had cell phones. Post-apocalyptic buddy film in which a bunch of old folks are trying to find the one menopausal woman.
Bucket list meets American Pie meets Children of Men.
I love that the global reviews for this movie say things like, you know, disgusting and brilliant. Like, they mean it as a compliment, you know, they really love it. But what was that first screening at Sundance like when you're showing it to, you know, an audience of strangers?
I mean, it was so exciting. I think some of my favorite film-going experiences in life have been when I, like, for some reason stumbled into a movie and didn't watch the trailer, you know? It's rare, but, like, it happens at film festivals. And so, like, we kind of specifically we kind of pulled a pretty mean joke, right? Like, not describing the movie much in the bio. And so, like, and it couldn't have gone better, you know? It was so fun. Like, it was a packed theater, and like, there were laughs and screams, and people were talking, and we had a blast.
I think when the title slammed on, it was such a satisfying moment because we heard like a whole spectrum of noises, that you normally don't hear in a theater, because some people were basically getting whiplash in that moment because they came in expecting a Sundance drama between these two amazing actors. And
like laughing and screaming and cheering.
Crying.
I was crying.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun to experience that. It was just a lot of adrenaline. But it wasn't until the next morning when we saw like the headlines that we realized, oh, I guess some people didn't like it. But yeah, it's a really interesting thing because it was just one guy who kind of got mad at the movie and he left before the movie finished, and so he was the first tweet out of Sundance career. So that's the headline I ever picked up on. He has since lost his job.
Fuck that guy. Irresponsible. Now we're at the Dome. Come on.
Actually, that's what the extra chair's for. He's here tonight. I do have some questions from the audience. Let's start right there. Yes.
My question is that is the lead character Hank Thompson a homage to Tom Hanks for Castaway?
You're the first person to ask. Yeah. Originally his name was Hank Toms. Well, he never said his last name, so we felt like that'd be funny in the closing credits. It said Hank Toms. But then as we wrote it, we were like his dad shows up, like Mr. Thompson, like it might ruin the movie. His name's Hank Toms.
Reality.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, like all of our ideas, it started as a joke, but then it became too real.
That's brilliant. I didn't even pick up on it. Sure.
I love the ending of the farting corpse going off onto the horizon. I just want to know if you guys went through a certain process through writing the whole script. If you thought of different endings or is that what you decided on the beginning, or if you went through different drafts of that?
Early on, we had a lot of different ideas because, like, obviously, you want to explore every kind of path that you can think of. But
Like very early on, there was like him very early on. He was on an island the whole time, and then he gets rescued by a cruise ship, and it's just him being sad on a cruise while everybody drinks daiquiris. No one ever read that draft. We just mixed that.
But yeah, I think early on we wanted that last image to be kind of this really beautiful transcendent moment where everyone was watching Jesus go back to heaven. And the main problem I was trying to figure out how to get there, and I think we just try a lot of programs, but we always this is going to be this beautiful departure from ET or whatever.
Yeah. And then when we got down to brass tacks of shooting and editing that scene, like it was a constant discussion of like who to cut to, like whose face do you show, what's that going to mean, and where, so it evolved a lot.
The first edit of this, actually, our first rough cut was set to the music of Lion King.
Dead still bummed.
Remember when Simba roars and the rain comes down and everything comes back to life?
Every scene is better than Lion King. If you're ever struggling and you're editing your own movie, just put that song over it.
Oh yeah, I see people right in the front and the back.
Look, was there a fart ADR session?
Well, actually, yeah.
Yeah, there was. Specifically, we did an ADR session kind of early in the edit where I brought my girlfriend's KitchenAid bowl and some water and towels, and we were trying to do wet farts, like farts that are in the ocean, because that was a specific sound that was in the sound libraries. We had to create a lot of sounds because we didn't want it to sound like Looney Tunes, like most canned farts that you can get, sound like jokey and fake, and you're like, no, these need to be authentic. There were some that were authentic.
Yeah, most of them were authentic, but from strangers.
Still sounds from YouTube.
Yeah.
Like people were recording their own farts.
And then one of them was our editor. Our editor
Yeah.
tied for one night. He was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be a good one." So he
He sent us a good luck message because he was bummed he couldn't come to the screening tonight, and he sent me one of his magical. These are real. This is what Matt Hanna's capable of. That was one. He's incredible.
You don't want to follow that. Let's take a little more short right front here.
Paul, such an incredible performance. Seriously, it was so amazing. So kudos to you. I was wondering how you guys came up with the whole musical aspect because it worked so well and it was so great. I was wondering how just that synthesized and how you guys just talked about it. I was really curious.
Thank you.
For those in the back, he asked about the musical aspect of the film and how it came together.
I think early on we knew that because I mean, we come from music videos, and music is such a big part of our process, how we brainstorm. So music was on our minds when we started writing, and even before we wrote the first draft, we're like, oh, what kind of music would you have if you're stranded in the middle of nowhere? You probably sing to yourself, and the songs that get stuck in your head, and the melodies that kind of keep coming back to you, or what we wanted the basis of the score to be. So we kind of took that and just ran with it, and we just like, we wanted it to stay like loud and raucous and most gentle and beautiful, everything in between basically. And so we started there, and then we just started writing the script, and we just wanted to see what happened if you just allowed the characters to sing every note.
And then our composers, Robert McDowell and Andy Hull, are they really like took it 10 times further, and they're from a band called Manchester Orchestra, and so like they're used to like a full band sound. So when we asked them to do acapella stuff, they got very frustrated by like the inability to have like drums or a keyboard or a bass line, and then but that kind of led them to do a very different kind of acapella music, than what's the movie that's all acapella? It's Perfect. Yeah, it's like a little different. It's a different genre than fever pitch. It's a little different. Perfect. But anyway, yeah, like it's their fault that it's good.
The soundtrack just came out on Spotify. It's amazing. Just go home and listen to it on the car ride home.
Yeah, if you Google it, you probably buy a hard copy somewhere.
Yeah.
I just want to know, can you tell us what you're up to next? And Paul, where can we see you? Do like 3 amazing movies a year. You have a better track record than any actor I can think of. Where can we see you next?
I think the next, I'm doing a film with this director named Bong Joon-ho right now, who's a Korean director who I really love, and I think that'll be the next thing that'll come out. That'll be next year.
When are you going to work with someone good? And I don't know if you guys can reveal or what.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean,
we're getting close to closing a deal to like actually get paid to write a script, which is like awesome. That's cool. And that's going to be something we'll work on for the next year or so, and it's going to be, it's going to be maybe not as weird as this, but still just strange and something you probably don't want to bring your parents to. But it's going to be like an action movie, but our style, I guess. Secretly, we want to get Jackie Chan, so if anyone has a that's the goal.
I'm just going to keep saying that. So it happens.
Well, again, I want to congratulate you on such a beautiful and really moving